Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is time for episode 3, or technically episode 4. I'm not sure if you count the day trip up to Sedona, but I'm finally heading out of Phoenix. Tonight I'm heading to Vegas, so it's just about 5 o'clock. Gonna go get some dinner. Was boating all day out in Bartlett Lake, and next stop, Vegas. I figured I'd start the trip here because I'm kind of low on charge, so a little bit of range anxiety. Don't mind the dirty window. I will wash it at the first charging stop. Don't worry. Let's hit the road. So I am charging up here in North Phoenix. It's the same charger you may remember if you watched the Sedona day trip, which had a ton of range anxiety, so I strongly suggest checking into that video. I arrived here with, I believe, 18%, which at 54% right now, and I'm charging up to around 95% because it is 283 miles to Las Vegas, but more importantly, it is 173 miles along with 2,000 feet of elevation gain from here to Kingman, Arizona. So a relatively new Electrify America charger. It just got installed, I believe, last year. It's really an important one because it helps allow people to get from Phoenix up to Las Vegas. So this is going to be a very interesting stretch. The temperature is finally starting to cool down, but I suspect actually as we get up in the mountains, we may need to actually turn the heat on. So efficiency may be a little bit of a question. The wind doesn't seem too bad right now, so hopefully that stays consistent. But more importantly, get a deep charge here just to play it safe because there is no bailout option from here to Kingman. For those who are new to the channel, this is the 2021 Volkswagen ID4 First Edition. 77 kilowatt hour usable battery pack, 82 kilowatt hour gross. We're charging up here at the peak speed of 125 kilowatts is the as fast as it'll charge. It goes 5% to 80% in 38 minutes, almost 30,000 miles and a ton of DC charges on this vehicle. So make sure you stay tuned for a long-term review that'll be coming up as soon as I get back from this epic trip. If you haven't already, check out episodes 1, 2, and kind of 2.5, the day trip to Sedona. It is just after 7 o'clock here in Phoenix. Sun is setting. Beautiful sunset out here. I've been here for 13 days, so definitely time for me to start heading home. At 62% right now. As soon as I finish the charge right here, I'm gonna go over, there's a gas station right over there you probably can't see, but go clean the window off because I forgot my window cleaner. So for those of you who ask, how do I calculate my routes? I'm gonna show you right here. Here's the OBD dongle that I've featured in other videos, right down there. I'll have that linked below. So it just plugs into the car computer and then links up to the A Better Route Planner app. It's an excellent app. Really does a great job of helping you arrive at a destination without being concerned whether you'll make it or not. So definitely check out the app. I'm not sponsored by them. Check out the OBD dongle below. That's the one I've had the most success with. I've used that with my iPhone. A colleague of mine, regular EV dad, he uses that along with, I believe, an Android. So it's proven to work with both phones. Really good device, and it really gives you that security blanket of knowing, oh, you know, if it says you're not going to make it to your destination, you can go ahead and slow down a couple miles per hour, and that might make the difference to make it to where you're trying to go. And so then also this app, A Better Route Planner, where it's really helpful is normally 173 miles in perfect, 90-degree temperatures. I wouldn't have any concern of making it. But because the 2,000 feet of elevation gain that I know I'm going to incur, the app assures me that I should be a little bit worried. Plus, I know I'm going to use some air conditioning, and even up there, I might eventually switch to heat. So the app is just much more comprehensive than the Volkswagen navigation. I've talked about this in many of my other videos, but in case you're new, I go over it again. Just to feel free to go check out the app or the website, abetterrouteplanner.com, I believe it is, and toy around with. You can select what car you're interested in buying and play with some routes you're interested in, and you can then if you pay for the $5 subscription, that's $5 a month. That's what gives you the live weather data, allows you to pre-plan and save trips ahead of time. Super useful tool, and that's what I use on my trips to pre-plan before I ever leave the house, so I know all the chargers that I need to go to and how long I need to stay at each one, etc. All that detail. So really helpful app, up to 69% right now. So hopefully only another like 10 or 15 minutes, then we'll be out of here and off to Kingman. All right, so I'll just give you a quick tour inside the car. Pretty much approaching 95%, so I will get out and unplug as soon as I can, as soon as we reach 95%. If I go over here to the Better Route Planner app, which sometimes can be a little sluggish, let's go in here. And there it is. It has our first leg of the journey ready. So once we finish charging here and we hit the road, I'll be able to show you again, as I've showed in previous videos. It'll show a little two battery indicators here. One will show a Bluetooth icon that'll show our current state of charge, and then right below that it'll show what it expects us to reach the destination with, if we will reach it. And should it need us to slow down, it'll say that over here. It'll say do not travel above 65 miles an hour, or etc. So in 2 more percent, I'll go unplug, and then we will hit the road. All right, so we just ticked over to 95%. So as you see, the speed is all the way down to 34 kilowatt. We are 46 minutes, got almost 60 kilowatt hours of power, but it's time to unplug and hit the road. right, just arrived in Kingman. This is my first time ever using these chargers, so I'm pretty excited about this charger since it allows me to do Phoenix to Vegas trips. So just plugged in, ramping up. Let's see what kind of speeds we can get. Arrived with 7%. Come on, let's see that ride straight up to 125. That'll make me happy. It's only 112 miles to Vegas, I believe, from here, so we should need somewhere in the 60% realm, maybe 65%. I'll look it up on the app. A better route planner was almost spot on. As I showed you when we had about 40%, it said we'd arrive with 5 or 6%, so we arrived with 7 instead. So very nice to see the accuracy of that app. According to the app, it says all we need is 55% to get to Las Vegas from here, so I'll charge up to 60 or 65. Should take only about a half hour. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and go through and pack a bag so I don't have to bring all my luggage up to the hotel. I'll just get one bag ready, and then we'll be back on the road. All right, I went into Smith's, walked around the entire store to look for a iced coffee. So in that time, I'm already way overcharged. I think we're at like 65% or so. By the time I get to the car, which is all the way down there, we'll definitely be done. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the charge, and we will be off to fantastic Las Vegas. Join me here at the Forum Shops right next to Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. I'm charging up right now. I arrived late last night, a little after midnight, at the Mirage Hotel right there. And I was just lazy and didn't want to charge. I knew I had a bunch of extra time today since I was kind of bouncing around Vegas all day, and I had enough buffer to get through the day. So I figured I'd come over here and charge right before we leave. It's about 5 o'clock. My goal for tonight is just to get to about Beaver or Cedar City, Utah. It's about 2 to 250 miles, depending on which city I choose. So pretty easy going night. My point was I have to get to Salt Lake City Thursday, so the next day. So I just wanted to split up the drive a little bit. So should be a pretty easy going drive, hopefully. I know there's a bunch of traffic we're going to go through because there's a big music festival that's going to be that's starting to kind of get going north Las Vegas. So hopefully that doesn't cause too much trouble. It is 100 degrees right now, so air conditioning is being used to the max. But other than that, let's go take a look at the charger. Charging off of charger number 4 right here. Hasn't been a completely ideal charge. We are almost at 50%, but it was hovering at like 115 the whole way rather than 125, so it added essentially a couple minutes, but not too bad. I only need 51% to get to Mesquite, which is about 80 miles away in Mesquite, Nevada. So I'm gonna charge up about 55%. That'll be definitely enough to get there, and then we'll be on the road. Look at all these cars that ice the spots. There's multiple Teslas here that parked when, even though the spot says EV charging only, the signage right here says $100 fine if you do not follow these rules, but clearly they must not be enforced, because next to that there is a Toyota, and then next to that another RAV4, and the person that owns the RAV4 showed up, got out of the car, looked at the sign, then looked at my car charging, and then walked away. So just complete negligence. When I arrived, there was an Ioniq charging right here on charger number 1. I tried using charger number 3, which is what I'm parked right in front of. That one didn't work. Before that, I actually beat the RAV4 here, and I tried using charger number 6, both handles. That didn't work. I couldn't get charger number 5 to stretch to it because it's being iced. So luckily, an Audi that was icing this spot, not even an electric Audi, just a regular like Q3 or Q5, something like that, left, and I was able to move in and get the vehicle charging. So more drama than I expected here at the Forum Shops. But you can see across the street, there's the Harris. There's the big Ferris wheel. You can see a piece of the Palazzo, I think that is, or the Venetian, one of those right there. But nice to see charging here in Vegas. Now they just need to enforce the charging rules. So as I mentioned, something goofy going on with this charger. Really much slower than expected. It's down to 70 kilowatt already at 54%. So I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug, and you know, I should have enough, because I think I only really need like 46 to 47% to actually get there. So this should give us a good 7% buffer to help with the extra air conditioning and traffic. So let's hit the road. About 80 miles down the road to Mesquite, Nevada, and then we'll be at a Walmart. All right, we are here in Mesquite, Nevada. You may have seen this on our other trip when we came to Vegas. We used this charger here at a Walmart. I think last time I was here, I got some Subway from here. Pretty nice scenery on the drive out here, and it's going to get really beautiful at the next stint, because we're going through canyons in Arizona before we pop up into Utah. So we arrived with 15%. There's a lot of construction and traffic that kind of helped us get better range than I thought we would. So either way, better safe than sorry. Right away speed jumped up to 126 kilowatts right now, so that's excellent. I'm gonna go look at the map and see where our next charge is. I'm not sure if, I know there's one in St. George, Utah, but I don't think we need to stop there. All right, I just checked the app and used the restroom at Walmart, and it's 45 miles to Washington, Utah, which is basically St. George, and we only need about 32% to get there. So by the time I get back to the car, I can unplug. Reason we want to unplug now is because if we were trying to push it all the way to Cedar City, we would need to charge to like 80% or more, and that would take another, 20 to 30 minutes. So it's better to unplug here, charger hop, and just get to the next one down the road in St. George, and then maybe there'll be a small bite for me to eat there while I'm charging there, and then we'll be off to Cedar City after that. So next stop, Washington, Utah. So we're at 40% already when I just got back to the car, and speeds had already slowed down to 115 kilowatts. So it's time to go ahead and stop. Great charging session. In 9 minutes, we gained almost 20 kilowatts. So that's excellent. Come on, stop. There we go. Now I can unplug and head off. All right, I didn't check in when we got here because I jumped right in the car to book the hotel for today. I'm going to stay in Cedar City, which is only 47 miles away. Already have clearly plenty to get there. I need about 35%, so this is plenty buffer. I'm going to head to the Cedar City Electrify America to charge up there, so I have enough to start my day tomorrow. So 47 miles down the road to Cedar City. we arrived with 10%, and there's really no amount that I'm looking to get here. We're gonna get a lot here because I'm gonna go get something to eat, pack my bag for tonight, and yeah, so speed ramped up right away, pretty much to 120, not all the way 125 yet, but that's all right. We'll still get what we need. We've been to this Walmart before. It was a beautiful sunset on the drive in. Really cool roads again. But now we'll walk around, go get some food. I don't know if I want to go to Applebee's, or I think there's a Del Taco around there somewhere. I haven't really ever been to one of those. All I know is it is freezing. It's 73 degrees. All right, so I got to go walk all the way over to Del Taco twice because the first time I forgot my wallet. But I went over there. Food was decent. I don't know, never been there before. Pretty good deal. Other than that, Volkswagen's over 80% right now, which is awesome because then we should be able to skip Beaver tomorrow and make it all the way most likely to Scipio or even past that. I'll chart that all out tonight before the drive. Tomorrow we're headed to Salt Lake City, so it's pretty nice to get this full charge before we go to bed, and tomorrow we'll just be able to hit the road. It's pretty buggy over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just stop the charge here, and I'll deal with my luggage back at the hotel. Hopefully less bugs over there. But another great charging session here in Cedar City, Utah. Good morning from Cedar City, Utah. I just slept here in the, I'm at the Bayfront. I think it's the Bayfront by Wyndham Hotel. It's like $60. Really comfortable night's sleep. I mean, I was really tired, but pretty good shower. Can't complain. Usually I don't go for these really budget-friendly hotels, but this was definitely a thumbs up. Got my stuff packed up. Gonna go eat some breakfast. It's almost 8:30. It's about 4 hours of travel today to get to the airport in Salt Lake City. So it's about 249 miles. I have enough juice to just barely skip over the Beaver Electrify America charger and make it all the way to Scipio. There are 40 to 50 mile an hour winds coming into the area throughout the day. So hopefully I can beat them for as long as possible, and hopefully it doesn't affect my range too much. So right now I'm just going to go head down, get the complimentary breakfast, get a cup of coffee, and then I'll be off on the road. I know originally this trip was supposed to go to Reno. I was supposed to have a special that I was going to do there with the regular EV dad. We were going to go across Highway 50, or see if it's even possible to get across Highway 50. Unfortunately, there were some personal matters that came up, so that has been postponed. Not sure if we have a future date planned yet. We'll have to discuss that when I go to the airport and pick them up. So, but until then, off to Salt Lake City. First stop, Scipio, Utah. All right, just had a good breakfast, got my to-go coffee, and now time to head off to our first charge stop. Absolutely like spectacular weather right now. It's in the mid to upper 60s, which I thought was gonna feel cold, but it feels just in the sun, awesome. It's gonna be like in the mid 70s today, so pretty nice day for travel. Shouldn't use too much AC or heat, either or. So hopefully should see some good efficiency numbers. Just a reminder to subscribe, like and subscribe if you like clean windows. right, I am here in Scipio. This charger did not work. Handle number 1 is broken. Like that's actually like it won't click into the car and the plastic is broken. Handle 2 I plugged in, but didn't work. Don't know why. But it looks like charger number 1 is starting right now. Starting to get pretty windy. Hopefully we're getting good speeds right away. We arrived with 15%, pulling peak speed immediately. I think we only need like 40% to get to Spanish Fork, so I'm just gonna charge the minimum and then hit the road again. I had to go 16 miles out of the way because I missed the exit here. I totally just wasn't paying attention. The app didn't talk through the speakers, so my fault completely. So it's impressive that we still have 15% after going an extra 16 miles out of the way. And I had to go that far out of the way because there was no other exits to turn around. So it's that desolate out here that you got to be careful. I guess pay attention to the maps a little closer. But let's take a look at this charging stop here. Gas pumps. Diesel over here at the Flying J. Here's the electric car chargers and regular gas here. So they got all the fuels ready for the future. And they even have windshield washer fluid freshly filled right here. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the windows and remind you, if you like clean windows, to make sure you are subscribed, because I will keep the windows clean. All right, all the way up to 42% already, so that's enough to make it to Spanish Fork. Only a 10-minute charge, excellent charging session. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it and then hit the road, and it is only 70 miles to Spanish Fork, Utah, and just pick it up. Time to hit the road. All right, I am here in Spanish Fork, Utah. I arrived with 12%. I plugged in on charger number 1 over there, but I was only getting like 90 to 95 kilowatt was my top speed. So moved over here and jumped up to 120. So that's great. So at least we got a little bit faster charge over here. I only need 35% to make it to Salt Lake City, but I'm gonna charge like 40 to 45 just to have a little buffer. I know there's chargers downtown, but that way I can do a little running around before I need to go charge. Bolt right here next to me, and then a really sick Rivian right there. I love that blue color. It's my favorite color for the Rivian. The green's cool too, but that blue just looks so good. You may remember this charging stop when I was in coming back from Glacier. This is Spanish Fork, so I stayed at a hotel like way down there. All right, I used the restroom in Walmart, came out. I'm already up to 46, 47%, so I have plenty to go. I'm actually not going to the airport anymore. It looks like I'm just gonna meet John at the hotel. So should work out pretty good. I'm gonna get there with about 20% left.